Peace world, it's your boy back at it again. So today we'll talk about insecurities and how can we overcome it. But what does got to do with fitness? Everything's connected. Trust me, we'll see. So the other day I was observing something and I said to myself, because Solomon did say study the anti-sluggard, right? So out of this great universal book or the universe or the world we're in, I like to study people and things like that. But in the process, you learn more about yourself. Like I said, everything begins and ends with you, right? In your relationship with external, right? External stimulants, right? So I noticed something. I said, that's interesting. And I said, what caused this? And I thought about insecurity, and I was like, what makes someone insecure? And I asked myself that as I dwelt back and reflected on my life with things that made me insecure, right? And why? Most times that insecurity comes from social programming. But before I go there, let me define it and then go into the topic, right? So insecure, according from Google, means not firmly fixed, liable to give way or break, right? Now, relating to a person, not confident or assured, uncertain and anxious, right? So if we look at the word insecure, the base in it is secure. And that means fixed or fastened, so not to give way, becomes loose or lost, right? Then the second definition is fixed or attached something firmly, so it doesn't, so that it cannot be moved or lost, right? So when we have these insecurities, right, it really stems from social programming, really, and how we're being taught and trained, right? So the Honorable Mrs. Farrakhan said that the first emotion we experience is fear, right? Because as we leave our mother's womb, we come out, we start, we scream out, we want to be consoled, comforted, right? So we get a place of security, right, which is our mother's bosom, right? And that creates the bond, etc., right? But really, when we look deeper into it, being insecure, the security aspects with dealing with ourselves, like I mentioned about the social programming and our false belief systems, because we were not raised in truth, kind of. That's why Jesus said the truth will make you free or shall set you free. Because once we have a false persona, right, we're in bondage. It's like we're wearing a mask. So we're constantly trying to seek something outside of ourselves to give us that feeling what we really have within. Shout out to my man, because he's an acting coach. I will put his link in the description. He probably will get upset or a little bit like, man, I ain't gonna tell you nothing. But he teaches in this class, because everything is connected. When you do character breakdown, that's he calls it, character breakdown, a character may have something what's called a tragic, we all have a need, he teaches. We all have a need. Yes, the need, all of us, is love. That's the general need that we all need, and want. But when we get to the individual, we all have something that kind of shape us in a way that we constantly yearn for that. So it really tells from like our childhood what we're lacking, right? But my damn lights going in and out. So with the tragic flaw, right? The character need, right? If that need isn't met, because we all have a need outside of love, right? For how we grow up. If that need isn't met, right, and we're not aware of it in a healthy way, it can lead to what is called a tragic flaw, where it leads to a person's demise because they don't know how to handle it, right? Or they don't know how to handle their need properly in a healthy way. They end up going into a demise, and that's the destruction of the character. All right. So once we don't satisfy that need, this is the end result. It goes to the extreme end instead of the healthy end, right? So it's all about self-awareness and how do you deal with yourself, right? But the real security comes from really when we connect to the author of peace, of security. Whatever your religious belief system, that's on you. But you have to have something anchored that will anchor you, not just saying it, but really believing it and how you relate to your creator. You know what I'm saying? So once we once we are aware of that and we work on improving that, we realize outside influences really doesn't matter to us, right? Because we are the security that we seek because we're connected to the source of security, right? It's like, for example, where Jesus was in the boat, everybody going crazy, right? He's resting or whatever. I think it was a storm, whatever. Master, it's a storm. Then he comes out and he says, "Peace, be still," and it calms the waters. That comes from because he's connected to the author of peace and he's secure within himself, right? There's times in our lives and tribulations where outside influences will try to cause us turbulence, but we're not moved because we're secure within ourselves. So this is where it says it's something fixed or attached firmly, so it cannot be moved or lost. So we carry that atmosphere of peace with us, that security with us, because we're connected to the author of peace, right? And a lot of it too comes from where we're lying to ourselves, the insecurity. The more I studied it from my observation, once we put on a mask and we try to fit in, that's when the insecurity grows. You see what I'm saying? So it says the Jew is not the Jew outwardly. It's the one who has circumcision of the heart. So if you know under Mosaic law, circumcision, right? They will cut the foreskin of the male's penis, right? The reason because of that, bacteria will grow where there's darkness and moisture. So if the man has the seed of life and he emits that and he's uncircumcised into the vaginal canal where life is supposed to be produced, he's also carrying the germ and bacteria in it that would taint or weaken or pollute the seed of life which he's trying to create. You see what I'm saying? So that's not good. So when you circumcise it now, you remove the bacteria and it can be cleaned properly. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to keep it clean. That's why they circumcise. So when you get properly cleaned, you can probably clean the organ or the tool to be used and not taint the seed in that exchange. You see what I'm saying? But when you look at pictures of Jesus, or supposed to be Jesus, you see him with his heart open, that is clear, is pure. But that comes from being authentic. That's what's going on in the world today. That's what people talk about, being vulnerable and all that kind of stuff. When you're authentic, you are vulnerable. When you're authentic, you are confident because you're secured in who you are and you remove the mask. And you follow me? So this is what leads to insecurity as well, that you know I'm good. This is me. This is who I am. I hope I'm making sense. Like I said, everything is connected. So this deals with fitness as well, because the gym is the world is a gym, because you deal with the stress, i.e. weights, right, of the world and how you handle it. That's why I always tell my clients, control the negative and the positive, and sometimes the isometric as well, because you have to hold on a little bit, right? That's what they hold on to your faith. Which I'm just hanging around. That's isometric. You know what I'm saying? So when we're going through the ups and downs of life with the weights, it's how you control it. That's always tell clients. How do you move the weight? Are you out of control? Do the weight move you, or you're moving it? Always control the negatives in your life. These things are forces that happens, but how do we respond? We want to respond in a positive way, or the best of our ability. But within each trials and tribulation or experience, you're supposed to learn more about yourself. Bring more of awareness to yourself, because you're not going to know who you are unless you're tried. Right? And then you make an observation, damn, I didn't know that was in me. There's clients where I put more weight on, it's heavy. I'm like, you ain't lifted yet. That's insecurity. They're not firm yet. So I tell them, palm tree, not oak tree. Be firmly rooted. But you got this. That's the faith now that they have, and the confidence that in themselves. Then they lift it, then they're surprised. And then like, if I wasn't with you, I wouldn't have lifted. I'm like, yeah, I know. But I said, I'm gauging you in the process, so I know what you can do. And if you can, then we try it again next week. But at least we know where we are, so we keep measuring, we keep going up. You see what I'm saying? So be secured. And Honorable Mr. Farrakhan also said that another reason why, and I believe this too, we put our need, our secondary need, which is with people, as our primary need instead of our relationship with our Creator. So the primary need is with our Creator, which makes sense. So once you establish that relationship with Him, universe, whatever you want to call it, like I said, to anchor you, your relationship with other people will be better because He's the author of it all, so to speak. So once you have that, you become more secure within yourself. But this is through study and observation, and you find out in your past what makes you what, and how do you get over that. You know what I'm saying? Because what tends to happen if we don't, we will have a tragic flaw, and it's not a good. I've seen it. I've experienced it with loved ones and people, even sometimes with myself. Like, oh, okay, I gotta catch myself. Let me be careful with this. All right, let me. So you have to have that awareness, and remember, there's no one like you before, so there's no reason to be secure. The earth been here for trillions of years, and there haven't been two raindrops that's alike, nor two snowflakes alike. So think about how big the world is, the earth is, and where it rains, and for trillions of years, no two raindrops are alike. So there's no one like you. So really, you have nothing to be insecure about, because you are enough. And once you understand that, I think we'll move in life a little better. And the way how we're being taught about who we are needs to be changed. So He says, behold, I make all things new. So we need a new paradigm on how we relate to ourselves, and we relate to our world better. All right? So it's Alchemy Fitness signing off, where we transfer you from lead to gold. Train hard, train smart, train safe. Peace.